Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. It's lovely to have you here on Rainbow Tarot UK for another pick a card reading. And today's reading is then versus now. Have their feelings changed? And I'm doing this reading because somebody, a very kind person, left me a comment in one of my other readings, and I think they requested this reading, so I thought I'd just do it. So today we've got our three piles. We've got the Urban Tarot, which is pile number 1 with the little snowflake obsidian there. We've got pile number 2, which is the Rainbow Tarot with the orange calcite. And we have pile number 3, which is the Dark Mansion Tarot with the little terracotta agate here. So those are your three piles. Just take a moment, go for the pile that is calling to you, the one that feels right for you. That's probably got your messages. Remember, it's a general reading, so just take the messages that feel right. And never take a message that doesn't feel right for you. It's probably for somebody else that's listening, and it's timeless, so it's good for whenever you're finding it. But other than that, I'll see you in your reading. Bye for now. Hey pile number 1, and welcome back to your reading. So today we're doing, aren't we, their feelings, what were they then towards you versus what are they now, and have they changed, have they altered, or are they the same, So you've chosen to come into the reading under the Urban Tarot. We're going to be using the Urban Tarot and the little snowflake obsidian. We are also going to be using the Witch's Tarot as well, but this is your main tarot deck. So I haven't pre-shuffled any oracle cards, and I'm going to do that to start with. And first of all, I'm going to look at, as I said, I'm going to look at how they felt about you then, and then the next row, the row underneath, will be about how they feel about you now. I just want to say I hope everyone's doing really well. I hope you're all, happy and healthy. That's the main thing. And I just want to also thank you for subscribing, for all your lovely comments, all your likes. I really, really appreciate that. Thanks so much for doing that. But anyway, let's start off with our oracle cards on, how they felt. So how did they feel about pile number 1 back then, whenever them was a pile number 1 and their person? How did they feel about pile number 1 back then? I feel like that one is poking out, so I'm going to take it. Let's see what that says. So this says union. The union of divine soul counterparts is a miraculous event that begins when you least expect it. So they felt a strong connection with you. They felt a strong bond with you. They might even felt that you were, soul counterparts, twin flames, soulmates, that kind of thing. They certainly felt something very strong. With all these colours here and this heart right in the centre, it just makes me feel that they felt very hopeful as well about the connection. So this card shows me that they felt, they felt there was a strong bond between the two of you. Maybe they felt a strong calling, an attraction to you, a pull to you, something maybe that they didn't even possibly understand, but they felt that you and them were very connected. So that's how they felt about you then. Let's leave that there. Let's get another one. How did pile number 1's person feel about pile number 1 back then? How did they feel about pile number 1 back then? What does this say? Focus. Okay. So, focus means, or I feel it means that they were very focused on the connection, very focused on you. There may have been some challenges to it with this mountain here, but I felt that they were determined to overcome any challenges, any problems. Maybe with all this snow, there might have been some issues or some problems, possibly. Maybe some coldness somehow back then. Maybe you were in separation, or you were you hadn't quite got it together or something. Maybe that's what you're thinking back then. Maybe it was a crush or something. But they were very focused on you. They were determined. They were determined to climb that mountain, to get over those challenges. Okay, so let's see. Let's have a look at our tarot now. So for pile number 1 and their person. So how did pile number 1's person feel about pile number 1 back then? How did they feel about pile number 1 back then? So we have the 3 of sorrow, which was the 3 of swords, the Dancer, which is the Princess of Wands, which is actually the Page of Wands, and underneath here it's called the Dancer. The Knight of Cups, which also has the word Seducer. How did they feel about you back then? And the Sun. Right. Okay. And the overarching energy is the Two of Swords with the word peace. So, let's see. So it's funny because it goes with these two cards here. I think back then, for some reason there might have been some, because the Three of Swords is about, you know, separation. It is about sorrow. It's about heartache. It's about loss. So there was something in the situation back then that was causing them pain. And it could have been something about needing to get over challenges, or there might have been certain maybe they felt there were certain challenges in the connection, or that was causing them pain, or separation possibly from you. Maybe there was a mountain between you. You know, there was separation between you. So it led to sort of coldness, or a feeling of coldness, maybe being out in the cold. So there was something like that. The overarching energy is the Two of Swords. So again, that makes me feel that there was maybe a little bit of confusion, because the Two of Swords can be confusion, where somebody doesn't really know how to proceed, how to move forward. So it might have been that they had these feelings for you, but for whatever reason the situation was something that was preventing them maybe to connect with you, or to get to know you, or to be with you. There were some obstacles, and it was causing them to feel stuck, maybe, because the Two of Swords can be a sense of stuckness, and that might have been causing them pain or heartache. But they felt nevertheless this very strong pull towards you. And I think with these two cards, the Princess of Wands, which is actually the Page of Wands, and the Knight of Cups, there was a strong attraction to you. We can clearly see here, this is a very fiery, passionate card. The Page of Wands is also a very fun card. So I felt like they felt you were very attractive, somebody who really, because this is someone, it's like an entertainer, isn't it? So I think they felt very enthralled by you. They were very, sort of mesmerised by you almost, attracted to you. They felt a strong chemistry with you. Knight of Cups is, the seducer here. The Knight of Cups is somebody who's very romantic, really. So I felt like they had very romantic feelings towards you. Maybe they wanted to seduce you, or they did seduce you in some way. Maybe they were very charming, or, you know, they felt like they wanted to charm you, to pull you in, to draw you in, to attract you. I felt like with both these two cards, there's a strong element of them wanting to get your attention, wanting to pull you in, wanting to impress you, maybe wanting to entertain you, wanting to have fun with you, wanting to wine and dine you, take you out on dates, that kind of thing. But it's also underpinned by this sense of sadness. And maybe there was some sort of sadness in the connection back then, or some challenges, or some issues or problems that was causing it to be stuck. Maybe they just had all these feelings for you, like I said, but they weren't able to act on them back then. And the Sun is an incredibly positive card. If it's not, if not the most positive card in the deck. So I felt like this person had very, very sunny feelings for you, very warm feelings for you. You made them happy, or maybe just the thought of you made them happy. But back then you might have been, for some of you, in separation from them. So you might be thinking back to a time when you weren't with them for whatever reason. Either the situation hadn't come into, hadn't started yet, or you were in separation and you're thinking back then to that time. Something like that, because it is underpinned with this kind of sorrow card here, this heartache, this loss, and this sense of stuckness. Now this card here is just pulling me towards it, which is the Four of Cups with the word luxury, which is interesting. And we see this cup here, which is like half full of milk. But it's more half full than half empty, because the Four of Cups is very much about somebody not really being able to see the positives of a situation. So I feel like this person back then was trying really hard to see, because this feels like to me like it's more than half full. So they're focusing on, you know, they're trying to focus or wanting to focus on the positives of the situation. So maybe they'd been, because it's a spilt glass here, so maybe something had been lost, something had been ruined, something had been spoilt, but they were still trying to focus on the positive, or they still wanted to focus on the positive. Maybe that's what I mean. So they still wanted to focus on the positive because they were still very attracted to you, they wanted to impress you, they wanted to romance you, they wanted happiness with you, they wanted joy with you. But with this cold scene, I'm thinking for some of you, maybe back then, you know, they felt like they were out in the cold a little bit with you, possibly something like that. In terms of astrological signs, I mean, the Three of Swords is Libran energy. Page of, or the Princess of Wands, or the Page of Wands could be any of the fire signs of Aries, Sagittarius, or Leo. Knight of Cups is Pisces, and the Sun is Leo. Two of Swords is Libran energy again. So those are just some of the astrological signs that I'm seeing. So that's kind of how they felt back then. So there was some element of sadness, or some element of loss or separation possibly for some of you from them, but they felt this strong union with you and they wanted to have a romance with you again. They wanted to impress you, they wanted to have fun with you, they felt a strong attraction to you, they felt that you were happiness, but there was an element of stuck. Maybe the situation, the connection they felt was stuck in some way, and there were challenges to it. But anyway, let's see how they feel about you now. So how does, let's pull these up a little bit so that we've got more room. Let's pull that up there. Let's pull that up a little bit. So how does pile number one's person feel about pile number one now? How do they feel about pile number one now, please? Abundance. So abundance, grape. Okay. Put that there. What else have we got? How do they feel about you now? Let's have a look at this one. How do they feel about pile number one right now? How do they feel about pile number one right now, please? Let's see what this one is. Obstacles. Look for ways around the obstacles to find happiness. So it seems to me that with these two oracle cards, they are still feeling a sense of growth in the connection. So they feel that they still feel that there's a lot to get with this abundance card. There's a lot to get from the connection. There's a lot to gain from the connection. Interestingly, 2 and 3 again cancels down to 5, which does, funnily enough, talk about challenges and obstacles. 5 is all about risks. It's about change. It's about challenges. So maybe for them, the connection is still somehow a little bit of a challenge, like with this mountain card here. But it still has a lot to offer. That is what they are believing or feeling. It still has a lot to offer. It's still plentiful. They still really want it with the abundance card here. Now the obstacles shows that they, you know, are willing. Again, it comes right under this mountain card where we have the word focus and the snow leopard, where there is a focus to try to overcome the challenges. And that's exactly what this card says. Look for ways around the obstacles to find happiness. So it says to me this person, a bit like what I was saying before, is invested. They're invested still. So that hasn't changed. They're still invested in the connection. They still want to get over whatever hurdles or issues there might have been in the connection. They still feel they can get a lot out of the connection. It can still give them a lot. And they can still, you know, it can be abundant, it can grow, really. So let's see what else. Let's get the tarot out. So how do they feel? How does pile number one's person feel about pile number one right now? The Tower, coming right under the Three of Swords. How do they feel about pile number one right now? We have the Two of Cups. How do they feel about pile number one right now? Or we have the Lovers card. How do they feel about pile number one right now? And we have the Four of Pentacles. And the overarching energy is the Page of Cups. So my feeling is there's definitely still, I mean, this, at the moment, this situation might have come into separation right now with the Tower card here, because that is showing something that has fallen in some way. Or it may be that they, and it could be as well that with the Lovers card here, because the Lovers card can talk about choices. So maybe this situation had choices in it before and might have caused it to come into separation in some way. They might have chosen something else or someone else, but they still had all these feelings for you. And that might still be the case. There might still be an element of choice here for this person with the Lovers card here, right underneath the Seducer. So maybe this person, you know, because with the Page of Wands, that can be somebody who just, you know, is out for fun. So maybe this person had these feelings for you, but they weren't very mature, and they were a little bit of a player, possibly. And it could be that it led to another, you know, situation, and that other situation is still around in this scenario here. Just for some of you, that's a very specific message for some of you. But what I think is that this person definitely now still feels very strongly for you, because you've got the Two of Cups, and the Two of Cups is about union. It's exactly about union. It's about, you know, a strong union, underpinned with a strong sense of kind of friendship as well. So I feel like this person, if there has been something that's gone on that's brought you into separation, maybe that brought you into separation then, maybe this is a cyclical thing where you come together and you pull apart, you come together and you pull apart. And it might have now brought you into separation as well. They're still feeling very strongly towards you. And with the Lovers card as well, it can also mean that there's a strong union between the two of you. But it might be that there's a third element still. And that might be why there was sorrow in the situation back then as well. So maybe there was a third element. It doesn't have to be a person, but maybe there's something interfering that interfered with it then, and it's kind of still around now, I guess. Or it's because the Lovers card has shown up because they feel that very strong soulmate connection to you, because you've got the Two of Cups, you've got the Lovers, and you've got this Union card. So there's no doubt that this person definitely feels very strongly towards you, and that hasn't really changed. So that's not altered at all. What I see here is that there's you know, a correlation between then and now. You both, you know, that they feel the same feelings towards you, and maybe even deeper actually, because here with the Page of Wands and the Knight of Cups, they're both sort of, I mean, the Page of Wands is quite a flirty energy. It's, you know, wanting to impress, it's wanting to have fun. And then you've got the Knight of Cups, which is like sort of the beginning of a situation where you're romancing somebody and you're saying all the right things and doing all the right things. But now it feels like it's developed, their feelings have developed, and they're much deeper, they're much stronger. But as I say, just for some of you, there might have been a third element in the connection, only for some of you, that's caused it to come into separation at this point in time. But they feel this very strong, yeah, much stronger actually than they felt before, because these two cards together show that they feel, you know, they're both two, you know, they're both showing scenes of two people coming together in union. So it feels to me like they feel this very strong connection with you. The Four of Pentacles is a holding on energy. So I feel like this person, if somehow this connection is something that's gone in cycles, or that, you know, you were in separation, or you're in separation then and you're still in separation now, or something like that, there's an element of them wanting to hold on, I think, hold on to a sense of happiness with you and them. But also, it could be that there isn't also an element of stubbornness to them. Now, it may be that the Tower is here because, you know, it's a bit, because the Tower can be a kind of an unexpected energy, a sort of bolt out of the blue, really. So maybe this is coming as a shock or a surprise to you, that I'm telling you how they're feeling about you now, which is a sort of deeper feeling than how they felt about you then. Maybe that's, for some of you, that might come as a bit of a surprise or a bit of a shock. Maybe it's coming as a bit of a shock to them as well, because they've got it in there then, you know, how they feel about you now rather. So maybe it's coming as a bit of a shock to them, the depth of their feelings. So maybe initially it was maybe a bit of fun for them, or it was something that they, you know, they kind of wanted to wine and dine you, you made them happy, they had a good time with you, but now they're realising that it's much stronger, it's a deeper feeling, and it definitely feels like that. And the overarching energy is the Page of Cups, which says to me, I mean, the Page of Cups is like a new beginning in love. Pages are literally new pages, new starts. They're also messages. So I feel like as well, maybe this person, you know, wants to tell you the depth of their feeling, wants to message to you the depth of their feeling, but also, you know, that they do have these feelings for you. Because the Page of Cups is the sort of seed, you know, the beginnings of love. It can be a little bit of a crush energy as well. But I just feel like there is love here with the Page of Cups. There is love. Whereas before, I mean, we did have the Knight of Cups, but maybe before they weren't as, maybe it was just the beginnings of something, whereas now it's developed into something kind of deeper. But I think they always felt this strong connection with you, because you've got the Lovers card, you've got the Union card, and you've got the Two of Cups. So I feel that again, that hasn't changed. They've always been aware that there is a sort of deep sort of connection between the two of you, for sure. But let's see if we've got any of these cards to finish off with. On them versus now. Any messages from pile number one's person? Make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. So maybe I feel like this person does want to make the effort. There may be a bit of a stubborn energy to them with the Four of Pentacles here. But I feel like they do want to make the effort because they do see that it's a really important connection for them. What else have we got here? Codependency. Addictions are affecting your romantic life. So that might be, for some of you, that might have gone on. Let's see what else we've got. You deserve love. You are lovable. So maybe with the Tower and the Three of Swords here, there's been some heartache in this situation. There's been some difficulty. There's been some problems. There's been some, maybe the situation has come into separation. Maybe somebody hasn't treated you right, treated you properly. But I feel like, because with this Page of Wands here, with the back then, it kind of makes me feel that maybe this looks like quite a sort of it looks like quite a hedonistic image, doesn't it? It reminds me a little bit of the Devil, which is, you know, somebody who's just kind of led by, funnily enough, by, you know, or it can indicate addictions, or led by their desires, really, allowing their desires, their need for, you know, gratification there and then to sort of control them. So maybe there was something like that back then. Maybe they didn't value you. And this You Deserve Love is just about you, sort of them saying, well, you know, maybe I should have loved you, maybe I should have loved you more, given you more, put more effort in. I feel like with the Page of Cups now, if you're in separation, they would like to come forward with maybe an apology, or you know, some sort of message of love for you. But in terms of astrological signs, I mean, the Two of Cups is Cancer, Lovers is Gemini, and Four of Pentacles is Capricorn energy. But anyway, pile number one, that's been your reading. I hope you liked it. If you have, please do hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next reading. Bye for now. Hey, pile number two, welcome back to your reading. So today we are doing a reading on how they felt for you then versus how they feel about you now, and has it changed in any way, you know, has it altered? And you chose to come into the reading with a little orange calcite here and the beautiful rainbow tarot. So we're going to also be using the Witch's Tarot as well. But I just want to say I hope everyone is doing really well. I hope you're all good. I hope you're all happy and healthy. Thank you so much for all your lovely support, your likes, your shares, your subscribes, your comments. I really appreciate that. So first of all, let's just start off by getting a couple of oracle cards. And first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to look at how they felt about you then. We're just going to do a row on that, and then we're going to do a row on how they feel about you now. So let's ask, how did pile number two's person feel about pile number two back then, whenever then was for pile number two? How did they feel about pile number two back then? So that one is coming out. Let's see what that one says. Love. Oh my goodness, pile number two. Love. So love conquers all. So they felt a lot of love for you back then. That is a beautiful, beautiful card to get, isn't it? Wow. I mean, I think that probably, you know, you can't really add to that, can you? So obviously there was love for them in this situation back then. So let us see what else we have. How did pile number 2's person feel about pile number 2 back then? How did they feel about pile number 2 back then? Let's see what we've got here. Change. Okay. So there was an element of change, or they wanted change, or there was change in the situation. But anyway, let's see how that transpires. So love and change. Okay, so let's get our tarot out. That's a beautiful card actually, isn't it? I was looking at it. Now that is a carousel, isn't it? Going round and round. Okay, so maybe this was a situation where there was a lot of change. Maybe it was a situation of cycles. Maybe they felt it was going round and round, maybe round and round in circles. That's what I'm getting. Maybe something like that. Maybe there were challenges, and that's why you've got love conquers all. Maybe they felt that, you know, that your love could somehow help you overcome whatever challenges there might have been, possibly for some of you. But anyway, let's see. So how did pile number 2's person feel about pile number 2 back then, whenever then was? So those are leaping out. I'm going to take those. Let's see what they are first of all. So we have 3 of Cups. We have the 8 of Cups. Okay. How did they feel about pile number 2 back then? How did they feel about pile number 2 back then? 4 of Wands. How did they feel about pile number 2 back then? And Justice. The 7 of Pentacles. Okay, so for some of you, back then, it might have been a three-way situation for some of you, just for some of you. And back then, for some of you, that this person might have left a connection for you. They might have left something for you to be with you. That might be what's happening for some of you. So back then, they felt love for you. Maybe it was challenging because of the third element in the connection or something like that. And they left that. They walked away from that situation to have this committed situation with you. Because the 4 of Wands is a card of, it's like a card of celebration. It can often indicate a marriage, and because you've got it right next to Justice, which is sort of anything legal, it makes me feel like it could have been a committed or settled situation. So they might have walked away from something that was a third party situation to be committed with you. Now maybe it was that they had an extra situation going on, and they decided to leave it in order to focus on you and them, in order to stay with you and them, or to be with you and them back then, because they felt a strong sense of love. And it was a very, so it might have been quite a challenging time, or a time of change and upheaval. But there's something here where maybe they or you or somebody walked away back then from a situation. But the way this person felt about you then was that there was, they feel very strongly towards you, because you've got the 4 of Wands. Well, that is like a twin flame sort of energy. It's a committed energy. It's a card of celebration. Justice is fair. You know, they wanted to be fair with you. They wanted to be balanced with you. They wanted to have, again, it makes me think of commitment, because they're right together. 3 of Cups, they felt a strong sense of celebration and happiness around you. But there is this somebody, something or someone walking out or walking away from a situation. So this person is looking back on that three-way situation and leaving it. So somebody left it behind, really. Somebody left something or someone behind, or something behind, in order to commit. So I feel like this person back then might have, for some of you, left something to be with you, to be in a committed situation with you. Seven of Pentacles is about taking a step back. So maybe back then they had to take a step back from the situation, weigh it all up, something like that. I mean, maybe back then they actually left the situation with you in order to begin something else, to be with somebody else. But the overarching energy is the Seven of Pentacles, which just means that they're sort of, back then they were weighing it up and still wondering whether that was the right thing to do. So maybe something like that going on for some of you back then. If that doesn't feel like your situation, you might want to listen to another pile, or what you feel was going on back then. But the way they felt about you back then was that there was love there. There was definitely love there. There was definitely a lot of love there, but there was something, maybe something interfering, or someone else interfering in the connection, that might have caused somebody to walk away. So there was a sense of also maybe needing to, there's maybe a sense of sadness as well in the connection somehow. There's some sort of sadness. But yeah, with the Four of Wands and the Three of Cups, the Four of Wands is this kind of like very soulful connection right next to the Justice card. So there was a sense of being fair, or wanting to be balanced or fair. Maybe, but also maybe wanting to commit. So back then they wanted to commit. Yeah, there was a sense of commitment, really. But anyway, so in terms of astrological signs, I mean, the Three of Cups is Cancer energy, Eight of Cups is Pisces, Four of Wands is Aries energy, Justice is Libran, and Seven of Pentacles is Taurus energy. Yeah, so my feeling is that they definitely loved you back then. There was definitely a sense of love back then, but there might have also been a sense of, with the Change card here, some obstacles or some problems. Maybe there was a walking away from the situation, but there was definitely a sense of love, a wanting, somehow wanting commitment, but being stuck. Because also the Seven of Pentacles is about taking a step back, pausing. So maybe there was a bit of a pause or something like that on the situation. But they definitely had this feeling of love towards you. But it could have been that there was a third element in the connection. Maybe, yeah, here with the Three of Cups. But anyway, let's see how they're feeling about you now. So let's have another one of these. How does pile number 2's person feel about pile number 2 now? How do they feel about pile number 2 now? Heart. You begin to feel your heart beat faster when you are close. So again, it goes very well with the love, doesn't it? So I feel like this person now still has a very strong heart connection with you. There is a lot of love for you, and it goes with all these cards here. There is a lot of love with you. There's a lot of excitement, because the whole thing about your heart beating faster when you are close. There's a lot of chemistry. There's a lot of attraction. So yeah. So let's see what else have we got. How does pile number 2's person feel now about pile number 2? How are they feeling about them now? Now this one, interestingly, came up in pile number 1, which is this. So if you felt drawn to pile number 1, you might want to look at that. Only if you feel drawn to it. And this says abundance, and it's again this sort of feeling of them wanting, abundance is about more, isn't it? About having lots, about having a plentiful supply. So I feel like this person wants, feels like there's a lot still in this connection. There's a lot still to gain from this connection. There's a lot still to get from this connection. There's a lot to grow in this connection. Maybe they want a lot more of you. Yeah, so it feels to me like this person, with the heart and the abundance, still feels a loving connection to you, and still wants to grow the situation, still wants to be with you, still wants to grow the connection. Let's have a look here. Let's see what else we've got. And 23, 2 and 3 comes to 5, and 5s can be about change. So it can be about change. So maybe back then it involved the connection went through some kind of change and transformation, maybe. And maybe maybe that was a challenge as well. Maybe you felt like at times you were going round and round in circles, or they did. But now they feel this kind of this strong connection with you. So how does pile number 2's person feel now about pile number 2, please? How do they feel now? So we have the 5 of Pentacles, the 5 of Pentacles, the Queen of Wands, the Moon. How do they feel about pile number 2 now? And again, the 4 of Wands. Now, for some of you, and the Knight of Wands, for some of you, you might be in separation from this person. What's that underneath there? The Emperor. Because they are feeling now a little bit out in the cold here with the 5 of Pentacles. So it could be that some of you with the 8 of Cups, maybe you walked away from the situation back then, pile number 2, because they feel out in the cold. So either somebody walked away from the situation, it could have been because of a third element or something else that happened, or some other thing that was in the way of it. And now this person is feeling the lack. It's feeling the lack of you. It's feeling the lack of the situation. They still feel a very strong, with the Queen of Wands, a very strong desire for you, a strong chemistry for you. So there's still a lot of attraction for you. Because the Queen of Wands is a very passionate figure. She's a very fiery figure. She's a very attractive, charismatic figure. So it makes me feel that this person has all these kind of warm, intense feelings for you still. But there is also some confusion with them. I mean, the Moon is about confusion. It's about secrecy and hidden as well. So maybe if they're in separation from you, maybe they are, their feelings are hidden in some way. You can't access them. You don't know what they're feeling, or they're hiding their feelings maybe in some way. Could be that they're keeping their feelings hidden. They're keeping their feelings secret. But with the 4 of Wands here, again, it makes me feel that they, right underneath the Justice card, is again that they want to sort of, I feel like maybe that they want to, if they left you, I feel like they kind of want to come back, want to recommit in some way. The only thing I would say about that though is you've got the Knight of Wands here. Well, actually, the Knight of Wands and the Emperor. So the Emperor actually is somebody who is very solid, very committed, somebody who's very grounded. It's the archetypal husband, the archetypal father figure. So I feel like this person wants to come forward with passion, like the Knight of Wands. It's a very passionate energy, a very bold energy. So I feel like now, if you're in separation from them, I feel like a few of you might be, this person wants to come forward, wants to be bold, wants to take action in a passionate way, with a view to committing or recommitting again. You've got quite a lot of cards here. The 4 of Wands coming up twice, and the Justice card, and all this love and heart. So I feel like this person definitely wants to, if you're not with them, I feel like they definitely want to be with you again. So how they feel about you now is that they still feel this kind of, sense of commitment with you, sense of wanting to be with you, sense of but there's confusion for them as well, and there's kind of being out in the cold because I think possibly they're not with you, or you're in separation, or somebody's walked away from the situation, but they still feel a strong love towards you. But maybe they're keeping those feelings hidden. Maybe they're keeping those feelings secret in some way here with the Moon card. But they definitely do still have this strong sense of attraction towards you, this the Knight of Wands is, you know, about coming forward in a bold way. Yeah. What about you now? Okay, so in terms of astrological signs, Five of Pentacles is Taurus energy. Queen of Wands could be any of the fire signs of Aries, Sagittarius or Leo. The Moon is Pisces, and again the Four of Wands is Aries energy. Knight of Wands, again, any of the fire signs, Aries, Sagittarius, Leo, and the Emperor is Aries. So there's a lot of fire. There's definitely a lot of fire. But it could be as well, you know, because I'm just noticing cold, hot, really. So it could be as well that the feelings of this person sometimes oscillate. They go, and sometimes they feel all this intensity, and then they cool their feelings down, and that could be because of the situation. So maybe they feel like you won't reciprocate their feelings or something like that, for some of you. But I feel like there's just a lot of cards here around commitment. So we've got Justice, we've got the Four of Wands twice, we've got the Emperor, we've got Love, we've got Heart. So I felt this person, you know, felt committed to you then, and I feel like they would still like to feel committed to you now. But I feel like that they are maybe feeling that there are greater obstacles now. That might be what, you know, that where they have to with the Emperor, it's also a card of strategizing. Maybe they're feeling that they have to come up with a plan or a strategy in order to move forwards towards you in this kind of bold way, in this passionate way. So maybe there's something like that going on. Maybe they also have to feel now that they need to be more mature. Maybe they weren't very mature before, and they feel they need to be more mature when they come towards you now. So with the Three of Cups, maybe they were just, they just saw it as possibly, even though they felt a strong bond with you, maybe they didn't take it as seriously as they should have done. Whereas now, I think the feeling is with the Emperor that they need to be more mature, really. But anyway, let's see. Have we got any messages for pile number 2 from the person? Any messages for pile number 2 from the person? Getting to know each other. As you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. So maybe you've been apart, they want to get to know you again. What else have we got here? Keep an open mind. Your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations. Well, I mean, you have got 2 Four of Wands here, which is you know, is about a sort of twin flame type, soulmate type energy, really. What else have we got here? Love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. So anyway, pile number 2, that has been your reading. I hope you've liked it. If you have, please do hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next reading. Bye for now. Hey, pile number 3, and welcome to your reading. So today we're doing, aren't we, and then versus now. You know, how your person felt about you then versus how they feel about you now, and have their feelings changed, or are they the same? So you chose to come in to the reading under the little Turritella agate here and the Dark Mansion Tarot. And I'm just going to put that to one side. I just want to say a big thank you if you have subscribed, liked, if you've commented. I really appreciate that. It means a lot to me, so thank you so much for doing that. I haven't pre-shuffled any oracle cards, so that's what we're going to do first of all. And I'm going to do, the top row is going to be, you know, how they felt about you then, back then, whenever then was for you, and how they feel about you now is going to be the bottom row. So let's start off with an oracle card. So how does pile number 3's person, or how did pile number 3's person feel about pile number 3 back then? That one's coming out. Let's see what that is. How did you feel about pile number 3 back then? Soul. Your soul is preparing to reconnect, trust in the process. So maybe they felt a very strong, funnily enough, all the piles have been quite like this, but they felt a very strong soulful connection with you. A strong, yeah, sort of strong bond. Something like that. Let's see what else we've got. How did they feel about part number 3 back then? How did they feel about part number 3 back then? Let's see what this one says. Voyage. Okay. I feel like maybe there was a sense of protectiveness, because we've got this mother whale here with this little baby whale, this little calf. Is it a calf you call a baby whale? I think you call them a calf. And a journey. So maybe this was a long distance connection as well. Maybe there was, you had to travel to each other, something like that. But maybe there was a sense of protection. Maybe they felt a sense of protectiveness towards you with this card here. Let's get our tarot out and see. Okay, so maybe they had to travel to you back then, or you were a long way from each other, something like that. But anyway, that's just for some of you. How did they feel about pile number 3 back then? How did they feel about, what were their feelings? We have the Empress. Okay, how did they feel about pile number 3 back then? That one. We have the Ace of Wands. We have the Ten of Swords. How did they feel about pile number 3 back then? Okay, and the Two of Swords. Okay. All right. And the overarching energy was the King of Swords. Okay, so, interesting. I think the reason why we've got this card here, Void, with this image of the 2 is because their feelings were mixed back then. And I think once there was like two types of feelings, and I think one was a little bit more dominant than the other. Because what I see here is back then, they were very attracted to you. They liked you a lot with the Empress here. They wanted to create something with you. They wanted to build something with you. They wanted to grow something with you. They felt that you were, incredibly, like I say, incredibly attractive, because that is the Empress. Really, I mean, the Empress is somebody who's just such a nurturing, caring energy. So there's a lot of care for you. They felt a lot of care towards you, a lot of nurture. And it could go with the original thing about being protective of you, a lot of care for you, a lot of nurture towards you, and wanting to, with all this wheat here, I feel like this is like wheat here, wanting to really grow the connection, feeling that it could be really abundant and good. The Ace of Wands is, the beginning of something very passionate, very fiery. I've got this fire here, so I felt they felt a strong sense of attraction with you. They wanted to have a new beginning with you. They wanted to start something with you. But on the other hand, they also had this feeling of intense worry. The Ten of Swords is worry, stress, anxiety, a sense of betrayal. So maybe for some of you back then, you're thinking of a time where maybe it was just starting, or you had this great connection and then it came to an end, or something like that. Because the Ten of Swords can feel, somebody feels stabbed in the back, so there might have been a sense of betrayal. They could have felt betrayed by the connection, or that the connection is causing them a lot of stress or a lot of worry, or saddened by the connection. The Two of Swords is a feeling of being stuck, being confused. This person has a blindfold over their eyes, not sure what way to go. And then the overarching energy is the King of Swords, which again is quite a detached energy. And that's what I mean. So we've got 3 cards of being quite detached, thinking quite negatively, having limiting beliefs, not really sure where the connection is going, feeling maybe betrayed or upset or stabbed in the back, or sort of unsure, because both of these are in the moonlight, so unsure, things aren't clear to this person. But on the other hand, we've got these 2 cards, which is about growth, abundance, passion, connection, wanting to start something with you. So I feel like this person, maybe back then, had these feelings for you, but they might have been repressing them, or they might not have been open about them, or they might have been secret about them. With the King of Swords, they might have kept them under wraps, because the King of Swords is somebody who is not the most emotionally connected person, or demonstrative, really. They're they're great thinkers. They're very rational, great communicators, but they're not connected to their heart. So I feel like in some way they might have had all these feelings, but they repressed them in some way, or they kept them hidden, or maybe the situation was such that they couldn't bring them out into the open even though they felt them. So that is what I was thinking. They definitely were attracted to you. They definitely felt a connection to you. They definitely felt a lot of fire toward you, a lot of passion toward you. But it was also something that was confusing them, something that was worrying them, something that was stressing them out, something that was maybe secret or hidden, something that was possibly repressed, something where they maybe wanted to communicate it with you, but they didn't or they couldn't. Something like that. So that's how they felt. So I felt, I feel like it's and so that's what. So they were kind of mixed. There was a mixture of feelings. There was two different camps, if you like, and they were maybe the one where they felt really attracted to you, very drawn to you, wanting to grow things with you, wanting to build a passionate connection with you, was sort of was being slightly overpowered by all this fear and doubt and limiting beliefs, or a sense of betrayal, or keeping things secret or hidden or repressed or something like that. So that's kind of how I think they felt about you then. So the Empress is Taurus energy. Ace of Wands could be any of the fire signs of Sagittarius, Leo or Aries. Ten of Swords is Gemini energy, and Two of Swords is Libra energy. King of Swords could be Libra, Gemini or Aquarius. So those are just some of the zodiac signs that I'm seeing there that might mean something to some of you. So that's kind of how they felt about you then. And they could have been confused in their feelings, or just given mixed messages, or could have been, maybe they ghosted you actually as well. So maybe it was it was going great, and somehow they just cut off from you, or they detached from the situation, or they something like that happened, because it's two very distinct kind of camps here. But anyway, let's see, how do they feel about you now? So let's ask. So how does pile number 3's person feel about them now, please? How do they feel about them right now? How do they feel about them right now? So we have positivity, the marigold, positivity, okay. Let's see what else we've got. Positivity. Then we've got one of these. I think I'm going to run one of these. How do they feel about part number 3 right now, please? Honour. Honour your loved one, and you will notice your relationship becoming stronger. Alright, so let's get your tarot out before we say anything. How do they feel about pile number 3 now? Maybe they were conflicted before with the Two of Swords here. They were conflicted in themselves. The Lovers has dropped out under the Empress. How do they feel about pile number 3 right now, please? We have the Ace of Cups. How do they feel about pile number 3 now? We have the King of Cups. And we have the King of Wands. And the overarching, well, they're not conflicted anymore. That's what I would say. And I think it goes with so I think now they are very, 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 very sure, because you've got 2 kings here. They are very sure of how they feel about you, which is very positive from what I can see here. They feel much more, so if there was any angst before, or any feelings of despair, because that can be the Ten of Swords, or confusion, or not sure which way to go, they have become much more positive about you and the connection, which is why you got this marigold here. And they want to honour it. They want to honour you and them. They want to invest in it. They want to build it, because you've got the Lovers card here, which is a very, very, very significant card to have in any kind of love reading. And it says to me that they feel very committed to you, very connected to you, very, 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 I feel like they feel very in love with you now. Whereas before they did feel a strong connection with you, but maybe for some of you it was something that just started and then it came to an end, or they cut off from you, or they disconnected from you, or they detached from you, or something happened. Whereas now or they kept their feelings hidden or repressed. Whereas now they're very open. They want to be very open about their feelings, because we've got the King of Cups. Well, the King of Cups is somebody who is emotionally very present, very connected, very able to express how they're feeling. There's a very mature energy to them, a very wise energy to them. So I feel like they've got over whatever doubt or obstacles or issues or confusion or problems or whatever. They've got over that now, and they feel just a very strong love for you. The Lover's card is like a soulmate twin flame type energy. Ace of Cups, maybe it comes right under the Ace of Wands, so it feels like again that they want to have this kind of beginning with you. They want to have this new start with you. They want to, their cup is overflowing, really. You can see all this kind of cup overflowing. So I feel like they've got an overflow of emotion and feelings for you. They feel very happy. And maybe the connection, because of the lotus flowers here, maybe it's gone through a lot of challenges, a lot of problems, and it's kind of but now they feel like it's kind of pushed up through the mud and it's come out lovely and pristine, and they're feeling that this connection is now in a much more positive place maybe than what it was back then. I feel like this person has evolved, has changed, has become much more connected to their feelings. And also with the King of Wands, that is about a lot of chemistry, a lot of passion, a lot of a lot of heat between the two of you. So I feel like this person's the feelings have changed in the sense that they've deepened, and they have become much more connected to you somehow, or much more wanting to connect to you. There's no more doubt. I think there's no more doubt, or there's no more obstacles, whatever those obstacles were. There are no more obstacles in the way of this connection. And you've got the overarching energy is the Eight of Wands, which is, again, it's a card of travel. So it makes me feel like maybe this was, for some of you, this is a long distance connection, or was a long distance connection, because you've got this one and you've got the voyage. So maybe it has involved some sort of travel, or travelling to each other, or there was some distance between you or something. But this is a card about absolutely going for it, going for something with speed, with purpose, with focus, just being completely determined. So they're all going in the same direction, aren't they? Pointing in the one direction. So that, it's the opposite of the Two of Swords and the Ten of Swords. It's a very positive card where you're moving towards your goals in a very clear and focused way. So it makes me feel like this person is coming, has come towards you, is with you, or wants to be with you, to have this kind of very loving connection with you, to express how they feel, to have a lot of fun with you, to have a lot of adventures with you, to basically connect with you in a very sort of soulful way, and to honour that, and to build a really strong connection together. It could have been for a lot of you that this was either a very new situation, or maybe a crush situation, something like that. Or maybe they had to strategize a lot. They were too much in their head. And they weren't connected enough to their feelings, really. Or that's what I'm saying, they were repressing their feelings, they weren't connected to them. Whereas now they're much more connected to their feelings, and they want to share those feelings. They're very positive about the connection. So in terms of astrological signs, the Lovers is Gemini. Ace of Cups could be any of the water signs of Cancer, Scorpio or Pisces. King of Cups, again, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. And King of Wands, any of the fire signs of Aries, Leo or Sagittarius. So there has been, this person has evolved, they have changed, they have become much more sure of the connection, much more confident in the connection. They've got over any issues or problems that there might have been in the connection, that they might have felt back then, and they just want to move forward with you in a really loving, positive way. That's kind of what I get here. Let's see if we've got any messages for you before we leave you. Messages for pile number 3 here. Messages for pile number 3 here. What's this one? Reconciliation. Oh gosh. So maybe, you know, something came apart here. So, because the Ten of Swords can be, you know, something falling apart, something dying. But of course with the Ten of Swords there's always, you know, tens are endings of a tough cycle and new beginnings. So maybe this person, you know, wants to reconcile. Someone from your past is returning to your life. What have we got here? Take these two. And we have got let your friends help you. So that might be relevant for some of you. Ask for and accept support from others. And then we have release your ex. The time has come to clear your energy. So maybe this is an ex situation for some of you. And maybe there's something about, you know, although I think this person now has a lot of loving feelings towards you, you know, maybe you're not feeling quite the same. You know, maybe you're just having this sort of reading out of curiosity. Maybe you're not, your feelings don't match theirs, but they definitely 100% here feel a lot of love for you now. Feel much more you know, connected to the situation, much more connected to you. Want to be, you know, want to be positive towards the situation. Want the situation to grow. That's kind of how I feel they are feeling now. Their feelings towards you now. But anyway, pile number 3, that's been your reading. I hope you've liked it. If you have, please do hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss a reading. But otherwise, I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.